Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we have an update on CM Punk's reported issues with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
How CM Punk's incredible WWE return happened.
WWE have set one huge condition for Punk's return. We're going to tell you what it is.
And CM Punk apparently received a major offer from another wrestling company. I'm the only real professional wrestling journalist, Adam Wilborn.
And I'm a really fake professional wrestling, not journalist.
This is the news.
CM Punk, video's all about him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what else can we do? We can't just sit here and go, did you know they've announced a match for Rampage this week? Come on, it's the only thing
Yes.
that's dominating the headlines right now. So let's talk about it. Let's begin by going over some of the stuff regarding Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. So
Love this.
one of the first things that came out in the wake of his return at Survivor Series was number one, Seth Rollins going mental at ringside, giving him the finger, being held back by Michael Cole.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right, okay. And then, of course, the report on Drew McIntyre being fizzing as well.
Stormed off, didn't he?
Been some updates on these situations on Wrestling Observer Radio. One of these is a work, one of these is a shoot. Can you tell which one's a work?
I'm going to guess the one where the guy got held back by Michael Cole, Andy Murray.
Yes, you are correct. The Rollins thing is a total work.
Oh!
This is according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. You've probably seen the photos, the footage, everything else. I mean, the photos in the thumbnail, so you've definitely seen that.
I've seen about 12 different angles of it.
Yeah, like there's one where the finger's like here, there's another where it's like here. The finger is everywhere. It's outrageous. But yeah, that's a work. They're probably going to turn that into some kind of thing, you'd imagine. Of course, Rollins has a long history of criticizing Punk. He had that famous interview where he equated him to a terminal illness earlier this year. You'd imagine that might be used as for better or worse. Personally, I don't.
They'll allude to it at bare minimum, won't they?
That alluding to it, maybe just find a different word. I think be a bit more, be a bit softer, be a bit more sensitive. I think.
Yeah.
The Drew McIntyre situation doesn't seem to be a work. Now, I know Drew's cut a promo talking about it a little bit from a house show yesterday, but wrestlers talk rubbish. But yeah, there's a report here again. It's Dave on Wrestling Observer Radio. McIntyre is believed to have stormed to the back, left the arena. He was very upset, legitimately very upset. By certain things going on. Now, it's noted that he did become less and less upset as the evening went on, although people within WWE are of the belief that he left the Allstate Arena because of Punk. At the time of reporting, Meltzer was unable to directly confirm this himself, however. Now, Fightful Select have reported that although people in WWE feel that Drew doesn't really like CM Punk all that much. No, sorry, I've got that completely the wrong way around. That was about Seth Rollins. There's too much beef going on. They note that McIntyre being pissed off wasn't all about Punk, so maybe there was some other stuff going on as well. But he was seen as slamming doors and cursing and all of that stuff. So yeah, he's a fired up dude. Punk, of course, was fired by AEW for having a fight with Jack Perry a couple of months ago. It's really I mean, you can't really make it up. Someone's pissed off on his first night, can you? It's kind of perfect, just like the man himself.
Yeah.
He never did a thing wrong in his life. That, for those of you who are maybe humor deficient, that's a joke.
Yeah, look, I think we all anticipated that if Punk ever came back, not everyone would be absolutely ecstatic to see him.
Some of the people in my mentions, for one. Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, Drew, obviously, is right at the top of the card. Returning CM Punk arguably threatens his position. He's also in the middle of contract season, and they're like, we'll prioritise signing CM Punk over re-signing Drew McIntyre. But more importantly, I'm just so excited for this Seth Rollins CM Punk thing. The moment I saw that, apologies to the women, who I always think it should be fair. I think it should be one women's main event on one night of WrestleMania and one men's. And the moment I saw that, I was like, well, both main events are sorted then. Yeah. Roman versus Cody and Seth versus Punk in either order. I don't care. I'm so excited. And that's with the major caveat of him making it to WrestleMania, Andy.
You reckon Cody's still getting that WrestleMania match with one Bill Phil around? Imagine that, he just big times him.
Please finish.
Just big times him. So that's a nice story you've got there. Shame if someone else finished it. Look, this is great. I love it. Bring it on. So look, to be transparent, this is very good for our business.
Oh, yeah.
However, as a fan, I love it. I love it. Like, I don't think CM Punk in WWE is going to end well at all. My stance on this has not changed. I think that this is built on. It's too much built on. This is a terrible sentence. It's too much built on spite for this to go well.
Yeah.
And as a result, I do think that it's going to end in tears. However, I'm going to love every second of it because I think he's just the best on TV. It's better when he's around. I love the news cycle as well. I love the chaos and I love the fiction of it all. It's brilliant. I can't wait.
But what do you think? Will CM Punk make it to WrestleMania? What should he do going forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. That's if he makes it, which we'll get to in Andy's second story in due course. I think it's going to be amazing and I can't see any problems going forward.
No, he's never been in an argument.
So many matches I want to see from CM Punk. Wrap him in cotton wool. But how did it come about, Andy? Because obviously there's only one real professional wrestling journalist that was brave enough to stick their neck on the line and promise it. All the others, it won't happen, or it might. Come on, guys.
Losers.
Who are you going to listen to, huh? The ones with years of experience or some bellend on YouTube?
Yeah, the sauce boss over here.
But also on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer has got the full report in terms of how it all came about. 10 days out from Survivor Series, which obviously I knew, couldn't say at the time, but 10 days out from Survivor Series is when it all came together. They kept it secret from almost everyone. Even some TKO group executives basically found out watching Survivor Series, which is just bonkers. Is it the best kept wrestling secret ever? It's up there.
It might be.
Nick Khan was the one who made the call on Punk's comeback. Obviously, as you've seen reported over the weekend, Triple H was heavily involved. He had like an hour-long phone call, I think, with Phil in the week preceding Survivor Series. Vince McMahon decisively not involved in this.
Hey, take a seat.
Which makes a lot of sense and I'm very happy about. But I didn't quite believe the reports that people in the ring were like, huh?
Yeah.
But
they all knew.
It is mad that some people involved in the company that effectively owns / runs WWE were like, we've done what?
Yeah, pardon me? This 0-2 UFC fighter, what's he doing here? Oh my god, do you see that Matt Riddle tweet?
Yeah.
What an idiot. Your UFC record really equates to something in a fake sport.
That was what I got from the reaction from the All-State. People going, oh.
Oh, yeah. It was
2 UFC fighter.
It was just like, oh, meh. Where's Mickey Gall?
I think both sides have to forget a lot of what's preceded this return.
Yeah, for sure. So they've mended fences, they've done business, all of that stuff. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how long it lasts.
I genuinely have to keep waking up and remind and pinching myself that this has actually happened because it's mad, isn't it?
It's incredible. It really is. Professional wrestling. Why would you ever want pro wrestling to calm down, man?
It was like we had a few years there in the middle, and like last couple of years, where it was like, this is can wrestling get any more insane? And it just keeps. What next?
I know. What on earth? I think we know what's next, and we're going to talk a little bit about that right now.
Segue.
Here we go. There has been a condition set for CM Punk's WWE return. Do you want to know what that condition is?
I think I might be able to guess.
Don't punch people, mate. PW Insider Elite.
It's a weird guy that when I signed for WhatCulture.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it should go without saying, really.
Yeah.
When you come to work, don't get in fights with people.
Just bring the small print here.
PW Insider Elite have come through with a report here stating the WWE officials have stated that this has got to be about making money and not about causing problems backstage. So I was obviously paraphrasing when I said they said, don't punch people, Phil. They see this as this is something that they've carefully deliberated for a while, obviously. They see Punk as a potential asset. But history does speak for itself. Look, we got the Jack Perry incident, we got the Elite incident. I'm not interested in who was right or wrong with the next thing, blah, 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 blah. I feel like this is something, like I said, they should really go without saying. However, when you look at the guy's track record, I can see why they'd want to build something like this in. Yeah,
exactly. It's understandable that you put something like this in. Triple H said, a lot's changed in the last decade, basically. This is effectively Punk's last chance. I know I'll talk about another company that would like to sign him, but in terms of tippy top, it's WWE or bust right now. And I hope, maybe the atmosphere will be different in WWE and that will help. Or I think it's just about managing Punk. It's about not saying that you don't necessarily need to say, we need to work every single week and we need to work these guys. When he first came into AEW, he was very excited to work with the likes of Darby Allin and help people like Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. I think it's about keeping him sweet on that side of things as well, and then he'll do business elsewhere and giving him a WrestleMania main event, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he'd probably enjoy that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff indeed. We'll see if I hope he can stick it around, man. I hope he lasts the entirety of his contract, because I think he's great.
Well, a few years, I think. It was
3 years, I think, has been doing the rounds, but I'm not sure.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we'll be lucky if we get 3 months, to be honest. But hey, look, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great. Both things are true. I don't think it'll work, and I think he's awesome.
Oh. Another wrestling company was very interested in signing CM Punk, though, Andy. Not AEW. Never seriously considered a return for CM Punk to AEW and be involved in the Devil storyline or whatever. But TNA, Impact Wrestling, as they are right now at least, apparently were very keen, and talks happened, according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson. They actually wanted to try and bring him in for the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, where they announced obviously they were returning to TNA. Couldn't get things sorted then, but they were still keen to bring him in. Apparently he was amazing in dealings with top Impact executives. But I think the moment they realised that the WWE thing was happening, including the amount of money involved, Impact were happy for Punk, and I think they realised they were kind of out of the race there.
Yeah, I think when WWE come in, you're like, okay, yeah, fair enough.
They thought they were very close, though, to signing him.
Yeah, he was at the tapings after Bound for Glory, wasn't he?
Of course, yes.
They were in the kind of Chicago area, if not Chicago itself. I don't remember the name of the town in the village. So yeah, they thought they had a shot. They obviously made him what they'd agreed a good offer. It didn't work out, but credit to them for shooting the shot. Look, they shot their shot. They try to sign Will Ospreay as well, is what I'm trying to say. So they're showing ambition, and you like to see that.
Very excited for them in 2024.
I'm looking forward to TNA, baby. Let's go. Vibes are tremendous. Like currency of the gods.
Every year I think, wow. What's next year going to be like? What is 2024 going to be like, Andy Murray?
I can't wait. News video numbers can't wait either. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I mean, this was just a silly weekend, or frankly, insane weekend.
Bonkers. I barely slept on Saturday night to Sunday morning. I thought,
neither.
Finish up the pay-per-view, stream, go home, get a bit of rest, and then, back to it.
Yeah, I'm still tired. That's why I'm yawning my head off on this video. It's just crazy. What's going on?
We'll, of course, go into more detail reviewing Survivor Series on the WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel, or available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. WhatCulture Wrestling.
Tell them about the Collision review as well, eh?
The Collision review also is coming out as a podcast later on, but it might be slightly overshadowed by
like
events from the weekend.
Maybe just a smidge. Brody King versus Eddie Kingston was great.
Yes, that did. Right, let's move over to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Mark Smith, who writes, "Morning to the greatest wrestling journalist." I'd like to be known as that forever going forward. And Andy Murray. I'm the kind of guy who feels YouTube stamps were invented for CM Punk. However, I am invested in the chaos. But does WWE re-signing him damage their chances of signing others from AEW?
Yeah. Theoretically.
Yes and no, depending on...
Yeah, theoretically. I guess it would depend who it is. If you're someone who was in AEW who really hated working with CM Punk, you might look at it and go, hell no, I'm not going to work with that guy. You may also go, ooh, that's a lot of money. Yeah, I'll put this aside.
It's usually what changes people's minds in this.
Exactly. But, I mean, you look at the people who had the biggest problems, at least publicly, right? Whose names have come out. People who had the biggest confrontations with CM Punk. Kenny Omega, locked down. Matt Jackson, locked down. Nick Jackson, locked down. Jack Perry, I don't know what his contract's like, but he's like best friends with the Young Bucks. Yeah. So, he's probably going to stick around. So, I don't know if there are many people to whom it would be applicable.
No.
But I could see some people going, I don't want to share a space with that guy.
No. I think and it works both ways. Someone like a Ricky Starks, perhaps, obviously said he had a great relationship with Phil, and I could see that potentially greasing the wheels for a move for him. But yeah, like you say, the obvious ones, the elite, Hangman Page, for example, regardless of what his contract situation is.
I forgot about him.
He's getting booked really well, so why would he want to go anywhere else right now?
Well, he lost at the pay-per-view, though, so that means he's buried. That's how it works, isn't it? This is the internet. This is how it works.
You lose one match and it's finished.
He's a freak. No, literally no one has said that. I don't know why I started a culture war.
No, they've been arguing about a lot of other things from that match instead.
They argue about the CM Punk instead. It's more fun.
Yeah.
The blood spot was cool. Come on.
It is.
Drink more blood.
It's very interesting on X in the last 24 to 48 hours, eh? as it always is.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think it will help with others and the people who weren't going to go anyway definitely won't be going now.
No.
Robert Smith says, is CM Punk going to get interrupted while addressing WWE tonight? If so, who's it going to be? Yeah, of course, he's been announced for Raw this evening.
Yeah, he's going to get interrupted by someone, isn't he? They're not. Although it would be kind of funny if he just came down, like sat down, went hello, and then left or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Seth Rollins. I know it's an obvious answer, but it's right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's right there. Rollins he did hamming it up in that angle. It was really well played. They obviously, Rollins has said some less than complimentary things about him in the past. It's the ideal starting point. And I think it would be, I like the kind of storylines that are a bit based in reality, so long as people kind of stick to the plan a little bit. Sometimes things go bad, like we've seen with Hangman. And
let's get those promos approved before we go out there.
Yeah, right? let's make sure everyone's cool with everything that's going to be said. But yeah, I think that's the move.
Yeah, I'd probably say that or Larry. That's probably one of the two.
Ace Steel, bring him back, bring him home.
I mean, if it was a shoot, every single person in that locker room should try and interrupt him because that's a huge match. It's CM Punk's first match in WWE for basically 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to hold off. Is he going to say, first thing I want to do is enter the Rumble or what? But
no more pay-per-views this year, of course, unless he goes to Deadline.
Change of plan. We're doing one on the 30th of December randomly.
Yeah. End of the world, it's called.
Yeah.
Roadblock end of the world.
But yeah, it's going to be great. If it was down to me, it'd probably be someone like Bron Breakker, so they can get him down in NXT, really refine that wrestling, and then bring
he's
him up
got
to the
to
main
tighten a
roster.
few things up.
Bring him up to the main roster in a year or two.
I'll tell you what, that Von Wagner could teach him a thing or two about TV acting.
Don't make me hope. Final question today comes from Shipper's Card Store. Thank you for your question. Morning, legends. With the Punker back, no return seems impossible. What would you think about Mercedes Moné coming back and reforming the Four Horsewomen to take on EO's Damage Control at WrestleMania 40?
I think that the chances of Mercedes coming back were greatly increased the moment Vince McMahon was no longer a thing.
Sasha and Triple H, good history there.
Yeah, 100%. I think that if she was to, the moment they kind of shunted that old prick off creative a few months ago, and they were like, yeah, and he's like selling shares and stuff to me, right? And this is speculation, but to me it seems pretty clear that they're kind of going, get out of here. Get out of here, you're a liability. And he is.
Yeah.
So her issues were mostly with Vince. The story of her and Trinity going into the office and having an unproductive conversation and then leaving the belts on John Laurinaitis' desk. He's clearly had some issues with the old guard creatively in that company. That old guard is now largely gone. Triple H is running the show. She worked well with him in the past. I think it's a really strong chance that she just goes back to WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't think the Punker's return affects any of this. It's not like, oh, Phil's gone back. Okay, well, I'll go. But yeah, like you say, I think the big change is the lack of Vince knocking around there. I still think probably she's going to do stuff within AEW and obviously New Japan or not New Japan, but Stardom and things like that going forward for a bit. But I wouldn't rule it out in the future. It's certainly become a lot more likely in the next few years. But Trinity's having great fun over in Impact and great matches down there as well. Elsewhere, it could be a case of, well, I would do that immediately, but I didn't really get my chance because she got that injury with the Willow Nightingale match that she wants to still do some stuff, and maybe in 6 months or maybe straight after WrestleMania. I don't know. I have no idea about contract status or anything like that. It's complete speculation, but yes, I think Triple H's dealings rather than CM Punk's return will be the thing that swings it on this one.
Click this one. Bye.